Welcome to the week ahead reading for April 13th to 19th, 2026. We're using 3 different decks today. Card number 1 is from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle Deck. Card 2 is from the Moon Deck, also Oracle cards. And then card number 3 is from the Moonchild Tarot Deck. I'm seeing somebody laying down on a beach, and then it's like a really calm, low wave just comes over them. It does feel like it is relaxing, but there's something replenishing about it. We're not in any danger. It's not like, oh my gosh, we're being overtaken by the wave. We're not going to be able to breathe. We're going to drown. It's not actually that. It has more of a rebirth, a fresh start, but it feels exhausting. It feels like we're laying down because we're tired. And so we need the rebirth to come through osmosis. Like literally, it's like through the water, replenishing us. I'm already getting to flip over the first card. First quarter moon in Capricorn, at least your kindest self, which we just had this card. So naturally, this is a whole new meaning and interpretation, because in that week ahead reading, where it was one card for each day, and this was, I think, the Wednesday, the Libra full moon day, this is now in a totally different context. And this feels a little bit more like, again, not that this is a self-care card, but that is part of the journey. Like what we're doing here and laying down, we had to make the choice to do that. We know that for our best selves, for our trajectory, in order to recharge, to reset, for that next leg, for the new beginning, Capricorn, cardinal sign, that it's just what's necessary. It feels like it's what's necessary. It's what's necessary. I'm trying to sort out the energy here for this week, because it feels like, again, it feels weighty, but it also, there's like an airiness about it as well. Not that it's ethereal, but it feels kind of like floaty and like hard to grasp onto. And I think it's because, again, we're on the earth, Capricorn, we're on the earth, and then we're being overtaken, cleansed by water. But then there's something that feels like it's up in the clouds about it a bit. So is this choice, is this decision to lay down, bear it all, I guess, is that a theme for the week, or is that just a phase, just a chapter, just for the first 2 to 3 days? And then we'll get what we need from that. And of course, what we need is the water to rush over us. Yeah, it's not even mentally reset. It's like physically reset, emotionally reset. For some people, spiritually reset too. And then we're able to sit up. So we're still on the beach. The waves are still coming in and out, but at least we're upright. And now we can look around us. So before we were looking at the sky, or we had our eyes closed. And so now for phase 2 of the week, we're sitting upright. And oh, great. The card we have, again, this is from the Moon Deck. The rhythm of my breath directs the rhythm of my life. So it's interesting, because for the first one, I was mentioning being airy. But we were laying on the earth, which was the most important part. And for the second one, now we're up. Now we're up. We can probably breathe a little bit easier sitting up than laying down. And we're looking around. We're taking it all in. We're starting to connect with our environment. It's so funny, because this is the visual that I had for that first one of like they're looking up. But you're upright. You're upright for phase 2, which is the next, that feels like it's next 1 to 2 days. So if we are at 2 to 3, then that's Monday to Tuesday, or Monday to Wednesday. And then this is Thursday or Thursday to Friday. And yeah, this is about like the reconnection to what's around us. We're still working on connection to ourselves, because remember, we are grounded. We're still on the ground. half of us is on the ground. It is like Capricorn, like the sea goat. We're like, we're grounded, but we're connected to the water, the sea. But then we're also now in this upright position, and we're looking to what's coming is like we're getting the lay of the land, but it's not about what's behind us on, inland. We're still looking out. We can still look up, even though we're sitting upright. Yeah, this feels like this is about reconnection. So the first part is grounding, the replenishing, and the second part is reconnection. And then what do we have? So that's Friday or Saturday into Sunday. And that is refocusing, replenishing, reconnecting, refocusing. There's no retrogrades this week. Why do we have so many words? Apparently we need it. Recall. Recall what? Recalling wonder. It's finding the inspiration again, because we have to do a reset, clear, wash away. And then we have to get back to reality and what's here and ourselves. And then it's like we can have that breath of inspiration come to us again, where then we can actually stand up and go do something. And we have the choice. I'm seeing a few different options where we decide to go into the water. We're just going to go for a swim. We are going to find a boat. We're going to sail around and go to a different destination. We're going to walk along the beach, understand it more, see what we find along the way. Really, really small percentage of people turn around. It seems more like we're focused on the coast, the beach, and then out into the water. So we're looking at the thing that's way bigger than us, less material, because that's what's behind us. And then we have our card, less material, she says. And the card we have is Queen of Pentacles. The reason I'm laughing is because normally pentacles are associated with the material. So yeah, this is a really interesting pick, because it's like, this is the receipt of something. But what we're receiving is actually, oh, what a nice bookend. We have earth, air, earth. What we're receiving is not the wisdom, because that would be more swords energy, but we're receiving that reconnection to nature, because this has a bit of a Mother Nature vibe to it. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're kind of being one with nature, remembering that we are nature as well. But it doesn't mean it's necessarily that literal for you, that it is about connecting to nature, but it may be for some people. And so if it's not literal in going outside or exploring or going to a beach or doing any of these things that I've been talking about, it's the connection to the things that are bigger, connection to, I don't want to, priority sounds really Capricorn and like more harsh, but it's about what actually matters, what's actually the most important, our true authenticity of like who we are, ourself, our most compassionate, genuine selves, which are separate from how we have become as products of the material, technological, socioeconomic world and climate and just things that are happening. So it's not that we're leaving all of those quote important things behind and that they don't matter or we're fully disengaging, but it does feel like we need a break. Like we mentally need a break of like all of those things. So then we can replenish, reconnect. And yeah, get re-inspired, reinvigorated, remembering, that's the recalling, like why any of this matters. So it seems like we're asking ourselves some really big questions this week. And yeah, this feels bigger than a perspective shift. It feels like it's our whole like reality is bent and like we're changed. we're changed as a result of what we are living through, navigating through, and processing. Looking at the astrology, on Monday, we have the moon entering Pisces. Hilarious because we're by the water. We also have the Mars-Neptune conjunction in Aries, which I spoke about in my forecast episode, the report. So you can watch my overview for that. And then it looks like then we have moon entering Aries by Wednesday, which is that turn. So we have Monday to Tuesday or Monday to Wednesday here. And then kind of with the moon, then after that, we're switching and we have our next phase, if you will. And then we have late Thursday, which also works because if this is one day or if this is 2 days, then we have the transition that gets us into our last card because that happens late Thursday Eastern time, which means really Friday, which is when we get to this chapter. We have the Mercury-Neptune conjunction, again, also covered in that weather report. Then we have new moon in Aries, also that next morning on the Friday, moon entering Taurus a few hours after that. And then the moon enters Gemini on Sunday, and Taurus season starts late. We have a lot of fire and earth energy, like the whole week. It's mostly fire and then some earth energy in the backdrop, which, as we know in understanding the elements, we have these two earth. So that is the backdrop upon whatever is being lit on fire. But in the middle, we have air, which is the complementary element to fire. So when we have our breath coming in and then we're finding our inspiration, when we think of inspired energy, that's usually in tarot a wand, but fire. So we have inspiration, we have things that are pushing us, that are driving us, and that action, that drive could be what is instructing us, leading us to say, I got to lay down on this beach. It's still a choice. This was always a choice, what we were going to do at each of these steps. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to allow this reset. I'm going to be a participant in it. I'm going to sit up. I'm going to reconnect. Connection is an action. And then I'm going to make a decision about which route I'm going to take. Am I going to go in the water? Am I going to float in the water? Am I going to walk along the beach? And finding our personal inspiration, not just the current of Aries energy of change and doing new things, but what's personal to us. And that's why the grounding at the beginning, the reconnection in the middle is important. So we're reconnecting to less so our vision and more just that, like that next calling. That's how it feels. On the 20th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be offering mini psychic readings. So with or without cards, I'll be on for 45 minutes to an hour. If you would like an opportunity to be read, then definitely check that out. I'll include the link in the description. And otherwise, have a great, restorative, reinvigorating week. And I'll see you then.